Moving on, next we have our presenter, Manju Bika. She worked at INF since 2016, and later she became one of the first nurses to be trained in palliative care, and she worked at INF as a clinical coordinator in Sunita Project, and she has been a key in developing the trainings in Sunita Project as well. And she recently finished her MSc from King's College London, and she's also obtained the 2018 WHA PCA Palliative Care Championship Award. And she's here to present her dissertation from MSc, Moral Distress in Healthcare Workers. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Amrita, for your kind introduction. Respected ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having patience and staying this long. Especially, I'm very happy and feel very privileged to be part of this platform and see the project from the start to flourish in this level and coming to this end. It's very emotional, but at the same time, very happy moment for me. We have been hearing about palliative care since yesterday. For some of us, maybe it's a new topic, but at the same time, there are many seniors who have been working in this field for ages and decades. When we talk about palliative care, now we are all, I guess, agree that palliative care is about compassionate care. So when we say about compassionate care, it's a holistic approach. When we talk about a holistic approach, it's about balancing between patient care, family care, importantly, the healthcare professionals. The carer, we say, in a term, medical or technical term, we say professionals. If, as a care provider or healthcare professional, if we are not feel comfortable, or if we don't feel secure, if we are not motivated, how can we provide compassionate care? So my topic is about moral distress, as you hear. So I would like to come to the point without delaying. There are so many definitions about moral distress if we look from the different perspective, but I will be talking from the perspective of healthcare side. There are so many different definitions about moral distress if you do the literature review. So I have selected few of the definitions which has been strongly recommended. So I'm not going to read out the definition, you can read it, but I just want to summarize it as some of the definition, they talk about psychological distress, some of them talk about the event, some of them talk about their belief or their expectations. So collectively, moral distress is the emotional and psychological anguish that arise when healthcare professionals cannot perform in a way they think that cannot be aligned with their values or their views. So in the perspective of healthcare professionals in low and middle income countries, this is a new, new concept. However, there have been plenty of studies in high-income countries, mainly focused among nurses. This lead to the development of alternative definitions are being a variety of contexts, including mental health and psychiatry. Talking about what is already known, or what we know about moral distress in palliative care, or what we expect. Palliative care in palliative care, moral distress arises when healthcare professionals feel unable to fulfill the wishes of patients who are in end stage of life. And there are different aspects what impact, like institutional policies, the legal constraints, and the family disagreement in many situations. That involves recognizing the resources, fostering the open communication, and implementing the support system that compromise the well-being of healthcare professionals, providing quality care, and that influence both in a personal and professional well-being of individual health professionals. So, aim of this review is to describe and synthesize the current evidence on moral distress expressed by healthcare professionals caring for patients with serious illness in low and middle-income countries like Nepal. The main objective of this review was to identify the factors contributing moral distress, experience healthcare professionals experiencing moral distress, the factor that impacts their well-being, and the healthcare professionals who are more on risk of moral distress. So during this study, as I said before, it was a systematic review, mixed method. So data was searched in a scientific platform, PubMed, Medline, Embase, PsycInfo, CINAHL, Web of Science. So SPIDER such a strategy was applied to include and exclude the data. EndNote, the software, was used to filter the identified data and to transfer them and to cite the articles. Identified articles were critically appraised and bias was checked using JBI tool, which is Joanna Briggs Institute assessment tool, and data was presented in tabulation and narrative synthesis. So the standard format, PRISMA, was applied to do this systematic review. Coming to the result, as I display in the PRISMA flowchart, total 110 papers were identified, 28 full papers were reviewed, and 7 were included in a study. So among those 7, 1 from India, 1 from Nepal, well, 2 from, in total 2 from South Asia and different part of Asia, 5. So among them, 3 were qualitative and 4 were quantitative studies. So going to demographic data, the mean age was 35, education from diploma to master's level, and work experience from 1 year to 35. So what are the factors that cause moral distress among healthcare professionals? And this review display that in total 7 different causing factors were identified. The highest, most of the paper talk about the work hours and shift among healthcare professionals. Lack of resources. Since yesterday till today, till before my presentation, we have been hearing about the availability and scarcity of resources. When we say resources, it could be human resources or the materials. And looking at the level of availability in rural area and the population living in the rural area, it clearly explains the lack of resources that cause moral distress among healthcare professionals. Similarly, the relationship with the colleague, within the colleague, and support system from either your senior or from the organization. And going ahead, strong socio-cultural practice and spiritual practices. And while I was reviewing this paper, it was very fascinating for me to, it was just 3 papers. They were talking about strong socio-cultural and spirituality. But among those responses, some of them said, like, as a resilience, like, yes, we feel very burnout, we feel very sad, we feel we don't have resources to fulfill this task, or we feel very demotivated. But at the same time, we feel that we are called to do this work. So that's why we are doing. So that was very amazing for me to, look at this that paper. So going to another cause, also workplace norms and culture, work experience and level of educations. There were few paper talking about the level of knowledge and experience, but even it's a small, sometimes that cause conflict in between the colleagues or in between the professionals. So when I was focusing in the other major objective about what were the experience they were facing as a healthcare professional when they are providing care for serious patient in their work areas, the powerlessness and the inadequacy. Like 4 out of 7 paper, they were talking about that. So from this review, there were like, some quantitative paper, there were a reflection. They were like how sometimes purposely, unidentified or unintentionally, sometimes we just take things for granted, or we talk about very casually, but sometimes you don't know what the next person going through, and that does impact. So being professional, keeping the professionalism is very important. That's what it was reflected in that paper. The other one was having the feeling of fear and loneliness when you don't get support, when you don't get kind of a system, and especially when you work in a chaos area, even you have all the resources and all that, but not having good support, those kind of things make people feel that, give that loneliness and fear of going extra mile. And another is exhausted and burnout. When I was looking at these paper, every single paper, all 7 paper, everybody was talking, I think if you remember in my previous slide, the total sample was 877, and all of them expressed that we are burnout. So what is the impact? Patient care and clinical competence. So when we say we want to do the compassionate care, we want to provide the compassionate care, palliative care, if we, as healthcare professionals, go through all these, how we can provide compassionate care? So this is a question for all of us. And the other thing is impact of well-being among staff. As I was doing earlier in the scooping review, I said like most of the study was among nurses, and it was so that the nurses were in the high risk of moral distress. But even this systematic review, it shows that nurses were the one who were experiencing most of the moral distress. But saying that, I can't ignore that the physicians who were 18 is 2.05%, they all had a severe moral distress. Saying that, I would like to conclude. Moral distress is a combination of the experience of moral event and psychological distress, and that prompts a moral distress. Based on this review, particularly the nurses are at high risk of moral distress in low and middle income countries. Other healthcare professionals, when we say in my inclusion area, I just took paramedics and physicians and nurses. So nurses were high, but there were few physicians, doctors, but no any paramedics. So saying that less attention were received by these paramedics and doctors, does that mean that they don't have moral distress? So it feels like, is it neglected, or there's more study to be done in this area? So further work in low and middle income countries should focus on understanding how, if they don't experience, or if they experience moral distress, how we can support them, or how can we know what are the thing they are, how they are coping with it, or how we can support them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manju, for such an insightful dissertation that you had. We're really proud of you. If there are any questions from the floor, we can take one. And we're really proud that she's back in the country to do more in palliative care, and that we shall be working together in the future. Thank you very much.